But I hope ow, my cat just scratched the shit out of me, bro. Oh my god, blooper reel much? Fuck, you fucked that whole thing up.
Nice to meet you, where you been?
Summer. Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Kim Frost Williams, but you can call me Kim or you can just call me nothing because you're watching this from the comfort of your own home. I am so excited for today's video because I'm finally in my new bullet journal. New bujo, who it is? Yes, judging by the title, you probably already know that I have a new bullet journal. I finally used my other one up. It usually takes me about 6 months to fill a bullet journal up, so we are right on schedule because the beginning of July is right around the corner. So before I share my monthly setup for July, which I haven't even picked a theme yet, so you guys, in the comments, please let me know what you think my theme should be for July. I am having a toss-up between ice cream and I can't even remember the other one now, so ice cream. I'm thinking ice cream. What do you guys think? I don't know. Let me know. Leave me a comment on something you guys like to see. I want to try something I haven't done, obviously. Got to do something new. Hello. So leave me a comment, let me know. But before then, I had to move everything that I wanted to keep from my old bullet journal to my new bullet journal. And no, you don't move everything over. That's just silly. But there are a few like yearly annual spreads that I do want to keep, and there was a lot that I wanted to keep in the beginning of my bullet journal because I did not like my collections, my series tracker, the movies tracker. I didn't like having those in my monthly setup because then I felt like I needed to theme them, you know, like make them look beachy or, you know, St. Patrick's Day, whatever the theme was that month, and I didn't like having to do that. So I tried to keep all my favorite collections, the ones that I used all the time, in the beginning of this bullet journal. So there's about the first 20 pages or so are used up of just stuff. And we're gonna get into what that stuff is right now. Okay, so before I started, I wanted to set up a little plan in my notebook of everything that I was gonna do first. As always, the first thing is gonna be the key and the index. Now, if you're new to the bullet journal system, the key is basically just something for you to look back on when you look back on your bullet journal and just sort of understand exactly what you're doing. You put little marks for each task. The original bullet journal system uses squares for tasks, and I decided I was going to switch that up this time because I just wasn't really loving the look of the squares. You put a square and then you color it in when it's all complete, and then as I was looking back on my bullet journal and looking on the squares, I didn't love it. So I decided to switch it up, and since the picture isn't that great, I'm gonna pop up a little text over here on the side so you can see my key and how I do my key. You can adjust it however you want. Everybody can do their key differently. You don't have to do the exact bullet journal system. So the key is pretty easy and the index is pretty easy. They're pretty self-explanatory. Next up is going to be the future log. Now this is where you're going to write all your future appointments. And for my future log, I decided that I wasn't going to have a year at a glance anymore or a birthday tracker because I just realized that I never once looked at my year at a glance page or my birthday tracker because I kept everything on my future log. So I just decided that I was going to put all three spreads into one. So I'm only doing 6 months here since I am starting this bullet journal in July. And for the months, I decided to do a little bit of watercoloring with my Tombows. I picked the colors based on their birthstone. So July actually should have been a red, like a ruby color, but I didn't really have a red. I only had a pink, and I didn't notice until I was already, putting it on the page, so that's okay. So I kind of like how one side looks a little bit darker than the other. When it dries, it looks nice and neat and crisp and cool. So I am very, very pleased with how it came out. Now, since I am combining everything, my birthday log, just my year at a glance, my future log all into one, I decided to split each of the months up into 4 sections. So for July, I have events, appointments, things to do, tasks, and then I have a box for birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays. This will just be a nice and easy way for me to split everything up. I can just run back and refer to this really quickly and just see what I have, everything that I have coming up for the month that I'm about to plan. Because as I go into planning each month, I always refer back to this as I'm doing my month at a glance because I want to write in all the appointments that I have for that upcoming month. So this spread does get used quite a bit. This is always a little bit tedious, writing in all the days and the numbers, but it's very necessary and very well worth it in the end. I always refer back to this future log all the time. And we all make mistakes, We all make mistakes. I swear, I must have whited out and written over these words on the side here about 1,000,000 times, and I just kept not being happy with it, so I kept redoing it over and over again. Now, at first I was going to just leave the colors on the bottom, but then I thought it would be cool if I did a little swatch at the very top and then wrote the name of the month on top of the little swatch. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm just taking the same colors that I did at the bottom for their little birthstones and just doing a small little swatch up at the top. The way that I do the watercoloring is super easy. I just take a little swatch of my Tombow on my plastic and I spritz it with a spritz bottle and then pick it up with a paintbrush. And it's really, really easy and it doesn't get the page super, super wet like regular watercoloring. So this is usually the way that I'm gonna do the watercolors in my bullet journal. Pretty much for any sort of watercolor spread I'm gonna do it this way just to keep the pages from wrinkling so much. And that's going to bring us to the end of the future log. So let's see what's next. We're going to head on back to my little bujo migration plan I got here. And it looks like next up is the year in pixels spread. I always want to keep this one because it's a yearly spread. So I've spent 6 months filling it in already. I don't want to stop now. It looks so cool when it's all the way filled into completion. So I always want to migrate this spread over for sure. And the easiest way that I found to tackle this is just start with the first color you see, and then just color in all the other squares of that color and then move on to the next, and then the next, and so on and so forth, because this takes a minute, I'm not gonna lie. It takes a minute. And then I went and got real crazy and decided to do a crazy quote and color that in on the right also. So I am going to speed this on up for us. I'm going to put it at like 4 times speed. That way we can just breeze on through this here. All right, so after all my colors are colored in, put a little key on the right to put all my feelings. I have a lot of feelings, okay? All right. Now, after I drew the title at the top there, the little year in pixels title, and I liked the way that it looked with all the different boxes being different colors and how it just came out looking real pixelated and cool. So I thought it would be interesting if I decided to draw more little squares at the bottom. But I wanted to sort of make it look like Tetris. So some of the pieces are, like stuck together and then some of them aren't because I just didn't get the right Tetris piece, So it's like got a cool little different unique shape to it. And I'm very happy with how it came out actually. Again, I just took this the same way that I did the spread and just took one color at a time and then just sort of spread it out. And don't mind this sticker that I have going on in the bottom corner. I accidentally left something on the screen that I didn't want to leave on the screen, so I am just gonna cover that up with a cute little sticker and we're gonna move on. Okay, so last year for my quote in my year in pixels, I had the rest of the world was black and white, but we were in screaming color. As obviously a Taylor Swift quote. If you guys don't know me by now, you know that I always like to quote Taylor Swift in my bullet journal. It's like my thing. I do it every month. I am looking for a new quote that sort of matches that month's theme. And since she has this new song out called Me with a little quote in it that says like a rainbow with all of the colors, I thought that that would just be absolutely perfect to do as a quote next to my year in pixels. And I saw this really cool design on Pinterest where it was like a bubble letter sort of spread, but it had a little chevron design inside the letters, and then they were all colored a different color, like a rainbow, and it just looked really, really cool. And I just tried it out with just the words like a rainbow in the beginning because I was a little worried of how it was going to look in the end, but it ended up turning out great. So I'm going to speed this one on up, and we're just going to try and zoom past this here. I got it on like 4 times speed. And I'm just gonna color in all the little lines. This definitely was a little bit time consuming, but I am super, super happy with the end result. It is one of my favorite pages to look at. Every time I turn to it, it's gonna be like so bright and colorful and happy, so I am very happy with it. And now we're gonna be moving on to the next page of the spread, which is going to be, some people call it a financial tracker, an expense tracker, but I just call it my bills and subscriptions. That's all. I like to keep it nice and easy. This is where I track all my bills and subscriptions that are due every month. So what I did was I split each bill up into its own little box, one for the electricity, one for the water, and one for the internet. And then I have a little box at the bottom, one spot for the date billed, the amount billed, the amount due, and the amount billed. That way I can just refer back to this really easily and see the exact last time the bill was paid and the next time it's going to be due and how much, because I do refer to this a lot. All the spreads that I refer back to a lot, I wanted to keep in the front of my bullet journal since I seem to use these the most. All right, so next up, we're gonna do a little goals page. I always like to split up my goals based on like 6 month intervals. I don't like to do a goal for every month, but I like to do yearly goals or annual goals, or 6 month goals is good since this journal is only going to be about 6 months. I thought that would be perfect. And I do like to split my goals up. It just seems to help me for some reason. I have a little box for personal goals, a box for career goals slash financial goals, a box for parenting goals, and then a box for my marriage goals. Since those are all the most important aspects of my life, those are all the things that I want to focus on the most. And I just realized that when I split my goals up this way, it just really seems to help. And I just picked 3 different color pinks and sort of blended them in and added a little white dot. Now, the next spread is going to be my year in Polaroids. This is a new spread. I have not done this yet. I was doing a Polaroid every month for my end of month review, but the end of month review is sort of just getting more of a hassle to do than anything else. So I decided I wanted to have a spread where I could look at all my Polaroids for the year in one. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the Instax Mini, which makes a Polaroid that's just a little bit thinner than this, and you can actually fit 4 on the page instead of 2. But I, of course, have the Taylor Swift Polaroid, because what other one would I have? And it prints the wide Polaroid, so I cannot fit more than 2 on a page. But that's okay. I think it'll look cool at the end of the year when it's all filled in. And then I wanted to do a little quote on the other side, sort of about memories and pictures. So I picked another Taylor Swift quote: "Hold on to the memories, they will hold on to you." And I like to go over it with a white pen and add a little bit of extra flair in there. I love my white gel pen so much. And again, I apologize for my daughter making any noises in the background, but if I was going to delete it and edit it every time she made a noise, I would be here all day. So next up is going to be my YouTube growth tracker and my video planner. Again, this is another spread that I did use a lot and referred back to a lot, because this is where I kept all of my ideas for videos and where I kept a running total of all of the videos that I've already done with their titles, just so I don't make any duplicates, because once you start making videos and you get a lot of them up there, you can tend to forget what you've already done. So I like to look at what I've already done and what I want to do. So this is my growth tracker over here. It's just supposed to look like little YouTube symbols on your phone. This was such a pain to draw. I can't even tell you. I sort of wish that I hadn't done it when I was halfway through it, but it is what it is. So I have it split up right now into 10 subscribers at a time, which right now I'm averaging about 10 a week. So I am planning on hopefully continuing with that, and then I will color in one square every time I get another 10. So right now I'm at about 80. So I colored in the first 8 already. And then over here on my planner, this is the spread that I really use the most out of these two. The middle is what I do a list of all the things that I want to buy. And when I say to buy, this is just to buy like for my videos only. And over there, the little light bulbs are my ideas for the videos. And then over there is where I write down all the ones that I've already done, the title of the video and the date. And this is just how I like to plan my stuff out. It worked pretty good the last time I used it. So when something works, I just stick to it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So number 8 is gonna be my TV series tracker. And you're probably gonna think that I watch a lot of TV when you see this, but it's really not as bad as you think. It only looks like that because the shows that I do watch have like 22 episodes in one season. So like Riverdale, for instance, this past season I just watched had 22 episodes in it, which took up all 2 of those boxes for just one season. So it's really not as much as it looked like, and I did fill out the whole page pretty quickly. So that's why I decided to make it a 2-page spread this time, just to not run out of room again. Right now I have each box representing one episode. So I will write the name of the show above the little boxes. And then when I watch an episode, I color in that little box, but I don't color it in all the way. I just use a color and then pick a different pattern and sort of color that in. It's kind of hard to explain, so I'm going to show you a quick side-by-side of my last bullet journal up to this. As soon as we get done with this, I'm going to just speed this up to like 4 times zoom so we can just get through me drawing in all the little squares. This was another super tedious, annoying spread to do, but again, these are the ones that I use the most, so these are the ones that I wanted to transfer over the most. All right, next up is gonna be the movie tracker. You know, if I have a show tracker, I'm gonna have a movie tracker, of course. Another super simple spread that I just had only one of in my last bullet journal, and it seemed to get filled up pretty quickly, so I just wanted to add another one because I don't just add like movies I want to see in the movie theater. I add movies that I see on Netflix that I want to watch or something, just to remind myself, because I'll forget like about that movie, and I'll even forget that it even exists as a movie because my life is just crazy. So if I don't write it down, there's a chance that I'm gonna forget it. So that's why I write down like every aspect of my life, and that's why bullet journaling is my godsend. I made just simple little movie reels with little bits of popcorn at the bottom, just nice, super easy spread. The font, I made a little thick, almost like bubble-like pattern, I guess you could say, and then I colored it in red, and then used my favorite white pen, my white gel pen again. I will list all of the supplies I use down in the description at the bottom. But yeah, I just used my little Uniball Signet white pen and paint little dots on there, and it just makes it look like a little movie ticket. It's really cool. I got the idea from Pinterest, actually, and I love it. Super simple, and I will show you again as soon as this is done, a little side-by-side of what I actually do. And I'm gonna draw a million little squares in, so let's speed this up. Again, this is something that's not necessary, but I just like the way it looks, so that's why I take the time to do the extra little details like that. It doesn't really bother me so much just to get it looking cool at the end. And then, of course, I'm just going in and doing a little dark drop shadow because you gotta have the drop shadow. And that's pretty much it for that one. Nice and simple. And the little dots, that's my favorite part. Just makes it pop. And now I'm going to show you the side-by-side. So what I do is I just draw it in as soon as I want to see it. That way I don't forget. And then once I've seen it, I'll put in the stars and give it like my own little rating. That way I know that I've actually seen it. And then the series tracker, I pick a different color for each episode, and then I actually color it in a different pattern. It's kind of hard to pick up on the screen, but each episode's like a different pattern because I'm so extra like that. Okay, we're getting close to the end of the spreads here. All right, so the last spread I am going to set up for my setup is all my important passwords. This was a spread that I'm actually surprised that I use so much, but you would be amazed how often you actually forget your passwords until you make this page. And I wish that I had made 2 last year in my last bullet journal, so I made it a 2-page spread this time because, yeah. It's crazy. You really would be amazed how often I referred back to this. It was pretty surprising, but it's okay. Now that's why this is here. Never forget a password again. I just made each box a different color. I picked 5, like, pretty generic, I guess you'd call them like pastel colors, and then just one spot for the website, one spot for the username, and then a spot for the password. Pretty simple. But, you know, I like to keep all the pages in the beginning pretty simple for the most part, since they're all pretty generic and they don't want them to seem themed towards the rest of my bullet journal, which I like to theme each month. So now let's do a quick flip through of it all. This is my first time using a Scribbles That Matter too, and I am just absolutely loving it so far. The paper quality, I love that there's a built-in key and index. That was really nice, not having to think of something to do, and it's already built in. And so far, I'm really impressed with the paper quality. You guys will notice that there's barely any wrinkling on the page, and there was absolutely no bleed through whatsoever. You couldn't even tell on the other side that I had done crazy watercolors and super dark colors on that. Pretty cool. Here in pixels. I actually didn't record this for obvious reasons, but it's just my little log there, and then I put cute little funny quotes next to it. I really like the way that goals page came out with the little white dots in there in the circle, make it just look cute. Can't wait to actually start filling some of these pictures in, these Polaroids. I'm probably going to decorate those pages a little bit more now that I'm looking at it, but it'll do for now. You guys might notice I went back and added a couple little stickers here and there. I do that sometimes. Starting to write in my shows, you know. And one more, I believe, and that is it for my bullet journal setup. And again, everybody's different. You don't have to set yours up like this at all. You do not need all these pages to start a bullet journal. I just like these pages personally, and they're the ones that I use a lot myself. But you can do it however you want. So I hope you guys enjoyed my setup of my new bullet journal. Don't forget to come back next Tuesday as I do my new monthly setup for July. But you gotta help me out and leave some comments. Let me know what you think my theme should be. All right? Thank you guys. Please subscribe to my channel. I have new bullet journal videos every Tuesday. I'll see you then. And also follow me on Instagram at Perfectly Perfect Planner.